نؤمة.
نؤمة. And I found him
بل وزن قعادة ضجعة جثمة نؤمة. سليم.
I found him slothful and sluggard, and I discovered him to be lazy and a slumberer. وكنت صحبته برياش وزي وأثاث مري, and I accompanied him with apparel and a goodly show and a lot of furniture and affluence.
क्या है हिदायत क्यों याद नहीं की थी वहाँ से तक क्यों होना ही है चलिए
فما برح يبيعه في سوق الهضم ويتلف ثمنه في الخضم والقضم إلى أن مزق مالي بأسره. Then he continued selling it in the market of loss and squandered his price in greedily eating and chewing until he taught all of it what is mine. وأنفق مالي في عسره, and he spent what is for me in his hardship. فلما أنساني
طعم الراحة طعم كمان taste
طعم الراحة. What you made me forget the taste of relaxation. وغادر بيت, and he left my house. أنقى من الراحة, and he made empty my palm. قلت له, I said to him, يا هذا, oh this, إنه لا مخبأ بعد بوس. Indeed there is no hiding after distress. ولا رميت بالكساد لما ظهر في الأرض من الفساد. ولي منه سلالة كأنه خلالة وكلانا ما ينال معه شبعة ولا ترقع له من الطوى دمعة. وقد قدته إليك وأحضرته لديك لتعجم عود دعواه لتعجم عود دعواه وتحكم بيننا بما أراك الله. فأقبل القاضي عليه وقال له, قد وعيت قصص حرصك فبرهن الآن عن نفسك, وإلا كشفت عن لبسك وأمرت بحبسك. فأطرق إطراق الأفعوان ثم شمر للحرب العواني وقال, اسمع حديثي فإنه عجب يضحك من شرحه. عجب يضحك من شرحه وينتحب عن امرؤ ليس في خصائصه عيب ولا في فخاره ريب سروج دار التي ولد.
अशआर की तरह पढ़नी share you pray like share don't just read it like normal ibarat. اسمع حديثي فإنه عجب يضحك من شرعه وينتحب أنا امرؤ ليس في خصائصه عيب ولا في فخاره ريب سروج دار التي ولدت بها والأصل غسان حين أنتسب وشغلي الدرس والتبحر في العلم طلابي وحبذا الطلب ورأس مالي سحر الكلام الذي منه يصاغ القريض والخطب أغوص في لجة البيان فأختار اللآلي منها وأنتخب وأجتني اليانع الجني من القول وغيري للعود يحتطب وآخذ اللفظ فضة فإذا ما صوغته قيل إنه ذهب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فزعم, so the wife had brought the old man and said, this person has deceived me and my father, and he has taken over all my jahiz saman and he sold it, and now there is nothing left in the house and we are hungry, we have nothing to eat, so judge between me and him. She says, when there was nothing left, I said to him, Ya haza innahu la makhba'a ba'da boos wa la itra ba'da arus. असल में ला इत्र बाद अरूस, शादी के बाद कोई इत्र नहीं मिला. एक कहावत है, a person married a woman who was divorced and she was still young, but she got divorced. So he used to, you know, provide a lot for her. But her ex-husband was named Arus, and he was more generous, and he used to keep her, well, looked after her really well. So what happened was, this couple were going somewhere and they passed by the graveyard, and she saw the grave of her husband Arus, and she just looked at the grave and she screamed and fell. So her husband said, what happened? Why did you do this? And she said, La itra ba'da Arus. Since Arus has died, I haven't had any perfume. So the husband said, well, I do so much for you, I provide for you, I look after you, and you still remembering your ex? And she said, how can I forget him? He used to do this for me and that for me. So the second husband also divorced her. I don't want to stay with you. So from there, La itra ba'da Arus is used. Over here, Arus is a word which is taken for masdari ma'na as well, and for sifati mushabbaha. And arus is a word which can be used for both male and female, bride and groom. Bride is also arus, groom is also arus, and sometimes is taken for meaning of masdari ma'na. Over here is in masdari ma'na. La makhba'a ba'da bus. There is no hiding after difficulties and hardships, and no itr after wedding. So stand up and earn with your profession and pick the fruit of your kamal. فزعم, he claimed, أن صناعته قد رميت بالكساد, that his profession has been struck with slackness. لما ظهر في الأرض من الفساد, because of the corruption that has appeared on the earth. صناعة, pesha, profession. rumiyat, rama yarmi ramyan, के माना to target, shoot. kasad, kasada yaksidu kasadan, के माना बाजार का खोटा हो जाना और न चलना और लोगों का उसको पसंद न करना. So sometimes your saman is not desired by people. They don't desire it, they don't want it, they don't like it. So it's khota saman. So his profession has been struck with slackness because of the fasad that has appeared on the earth. Wali minhu sulala. She went on to say, I have from him a boy, كأنه khilala. He is as thin as a toothpick. Sulala means sulalatim min teen. Sulala there means khulasatum min teen. And over here, sulala means nasal. So I have a nasal, a son, one son from him, and he is so thin that he is like a toothpick. Khilalatun, toothpick. Wakilana ma yutakhallalu bihi, by which you can do khilal of the teeth. Wakilana ma yanalu ma'ahu shub'atan. Both of us do not get with him, neither of us get with him food to fill our stomach and our belly. ولا ترقوا له من الدواء من الطوى دمعة. And his tears do not stop due to the hunger. نال ينال, to gain. شبعة, شبيع يشبع شبعا, shikam seher hona, to fill the stomach. رقع يرقع, के माना थमना, to stop. طوى, hunger. असल में طوى يطوي طيا means लपेटना. So when you're hungry, your intestines are rolled with one another like a rope is rolled or a cloth is rolled. Dam'atun, dami'a yadma'u dam'an, के माना रोना, आंसू टपकना. So his आंसू and tears never stop due to hunger. وقد قدته إليك وأحضرته لديك. I have dragged him to you and I have presented him in your presence. قدته, قاد يقود قيادة के माना खींचना, to pull someone. I have pulled him to you. أحضرته لديك, presented him in your presence. لتعجم عود دعواه وتحكم بيننا بما أراك الله, so that you may check out the stick of his claim, meaning the substance of his assertion, and you may judge between us with whatever Allah shows you. अजम याजुमु कि एक माना ये भी आते हैं चेक करना, and to test. You may test. ऊद के माना लकड़ी, तो लकड़ी स्ट्रॉन्ग है, वीक है, मोटी है, पतली है, सही है, खराब है, कमज़ोर है, तो उसको चेक करें. दावा claim, meaning what he claimed about the profession and skill of stringing pearls and selling them with a bag of gold. And you may judge between us with whatever Allah shows you, puts in your mind. فَأَقْبَلَ الْقَاضِي عَلَيْهِ وَقَالَ لَهُ, Qazi turned towards him and said to him, قَدْ وَعَيْتُ قَصَصَ عِرْسِكَ فَبَرْهِنِ الْآنَ عَنْ نَفْسِكَ. I have heard the bayan and wazahat and explanation of your wife. Now defend yourself, testify on yourself. وَعَيَّ وَعِيًّا, याद करना. وَتَعِيَّهَا أُذُنٌ وَاعِيَةٌ, I have heard, remembered, retained. قصص, قص يقص قصصا के माना बयान करना, तो I have heard the bayan and wazahat and explanation of your dulhan wife. فَبَرْهِنِ الْآنَ عَنْ نَفْسِكَ, barhana yubarhinu barhanatan, to offer burhan and dalil. So bring dalil from yourself, defend yourself. Otherwise, وَإِلَّا كَشَفْتُ عَنْ لَبْسِكَ وَأَمَرْتُ بِحَبْسِكَ, I will expose your garbari and deceit, and I will instruct your imprisonment. Kashafa yakshifu, kholna, zahir karna, expose. And labasa yalbisu labsan के माना confuse करना, mix up करना. वला लबसना عليهم ما يلبسون ولا تلبسوا الحق بالباطل, and I will command and bid your imprisonment, for you to be put in prison. فأطرق إطراق الأفعوان ثم شمر للحرب العوان. So he lowered his head like the lowering of a serpent, like the cobra when it lowers his head before it bites and strikes. أطرق يطرق إطراقا, गर्दन झुकाना. उफ़उवान, अजदहा, serpent, snake. ثم शम्मरा, शम्मरा युशम्मिरु तशमीरन के माना तैयार हो जाना, prepare हो जाना. लिलहर्बिल अवान, for the second battle. Harb, war, battle, and al-awan is means where there is fight after fight, second fight. So one fight he must have had with his wife in home, and then he came to the Qazi. Now he was ready to fight over here in front of the Qazi. So he prepared for that. وقال, and he said, اسمع حديثي فإنه عجب يضحك من شرحه وينتحب. Hear my story because it is amazing. There is laughter in its tale and there is wailing. Isma hadithi, listen to my story and my narration, because innahu ajabu, it is amazing, surprising. Ajiba ajabu ajaban, ujab, ta'ajjub khiz. Yudhaku min sharhihi, when I explain it you would laugh as well, but wayuntahabu, इंतहब यंतहिबु इंतिहाबन, नहब यनहबु नहबन के माना रोना, नहीब, the voice of the lamenting and wailing women is called nahib. So you can wail and cry over it as well and laugh as well. أنا امرؤ ليس في خصائصه عيب ولا في فخاره ريب. I am such a person in whose qualities there is no blemish, nor is there any suspicion in his glory and his fakhr. Khasa'is, plural of khasisatun, specialities, and fakhar, fakhara yafkhuru fakhran, ke mana fakhar karna, to boast over qualities, and raibu, doubt and shak. سروج دار التي ولدت بها والأصل غسان حين أنتسب. Saruj is my home where I was born, and my roots are Ghassan when I trace my lineage. Saruj Udari, Saruj is the name of a city. So Saruj city is where my home is, where I was born, my hometown. And Aslu, my roots. Aslun means roots of the tree. Aslu shajar, roots of the tree. My roots are in Ghassan. Ghassan is the name of a huge tribe from Yemen. And Ghassani Badshah were well known for their kingdom and Badshahat. Hina antasibu, intasaba yantasibu intisaban, nasab bayan karna. To mention your lineage and nasab. وشغلي الدرس والتبحر في العلم طلابي وحبذا الطلب. My mashghala and business is darsu tadris, education and studying, and to dive deep into learning is my pursuit, and it is an excellent pursuit. Shughl means mashghala, ad-darsu, studying, learning. So my mashghala is learning and education. And tabahhur fil ilm, tabahhara yatabahharu tabahhuran means samandar ki gehrai mein ghota lagana, to dive deeply into the ocean. So diving deep into the ocean of ilm is my matloob and my maqsood. Tilab bima'ana matloob, my pursuit, what I seek. وحبذا الطلب, it is an excellent pursuit. ورأس مالي سحر الكلام الذي منه يصاغ القريض والخطب. And my Rasul Mal, main punji and bida'at and main stock is the jadoo and magic of that kalam and speech, from which ash'ar and speeches are molded. Rasul Mal, capital. My capital and my stock is Sihrul Kalam, the magic of speech. الذي منه يصاغ صاغ يصوغ صوغا كمعنى ढालना, to mold. And qariz, jama qaraiz, ash'ar. Khutab is plural of khutbatun, speech. So my main capital is the magic of speech, from which ash'ar, poetry, and khutab, speeches, are molded. أغوص في لجة البيان فأختار اللآلي منها وأنتخب. I dive deep into the ocean of eloquence, and I choose from it pearls, and I select. غاص يغوص غوصا كل بناء وغواص. Quran में है गोता लगाना, to dive deeply. लुज्जतुल बयान, लुज्जतुन की जमा लुजज के माना गहराई, समंदर की गहराई, deep ocean. You know, ocean at the near the earth is not so deep, but if you go right inside, then it's 500 feet deep down. So that is called lujja. Al bayan, fasahat, balagat, One of the names of Fasad Balaghat, you read Ilmul Ma'ani, Ilmul Bayan, Ilmul Badi'. So Ilmul Bayan over here means Fasahat Balaghat. I dive deep into the ocean of Fasahat Balaghat, eloquence, and I choose a moti and pearls from there and select. Ikhtara to choose, la'ali plural of lu'lu'atun, intakhaba to select. واجتني اليانع الجني من القول وغيري للعود يحتطب. And I pick the ripe fruit uh, which is ready to pick from the aqwal and words and statements, whereas others gather the wood of fire for burning. Ijtana yajtani ijtinan, pick karna, to pick. Al yani yani'a yayna'u yun'an ki ma'na pak jana, to be ripe. And al jani means ready to be picked. Jana is genuine, to pick the fruit. So I um, I pick the fruit which is ripe and ready to be cut from the tree. This is with regards to al-qawl, words and statements. وغيري, wow is حالية, whilst those besides me للعود يحتطب, only gather firewood. احتطب يحتطب احتطابا के माना सूखी लकड़ी जमा करना. They gather the firewood, whereas I get the ripe fruits. Meaning, when I go into the orchard, I gather beautiful fruits, whereas others only gather firewood. And which bagh? The bagh of al-qawl, speech and kalam. وآخذ اللفظ فضة فإذا ما صوته قيل إنه ذهب. I take a word whilst it is only silver, but when I have molded it, people say that it is gold. Meaning, everybody else speaks, and I take the phrases and the words whilst they are like silver. But when I put them into sentence and make words from them and statements and poetry, people say, wow, this is gold. Like Quran Sharif is pure gold. कुरान शरीफ में वही अल्फाज हैं जो कलाम अरब में हैं, लेकिन कुरान शरीफ कैसा फसीह है. तो इसने कहा कि मैं भी ऐसा ही करता हूँ कि लफ्ज़ को लेता हूँ चांदी की हालत में, जब ढाल देता हूँ तो कहा जाता है कि ये तो सोना है. चलो बाद में पढ़ना, शुरू से कर लो. बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम. She said, continued to say, that when I told him to go and earn, he claimed that his profession has been struck with slackness because of the facade and corruption and ruin that has appeared on the earth. And I have from him a son who is as thin as a toothpick. And both of us do not get with him something to eat to the fill, nor does his tears stop due to hunger. And I have dragged him to you and presented him in your presence, so that you may check the staff and the wood of his claim, and you may judge between us with whatever Allah shows you. So Qazi turned his attention towards the old man and said, I have heard the explanation of your wife. Now give evidence from yourself, otherwise I will expose your deceit and bid your imprisonment. So he lowered his head. Itraqa is mansub binazil khafiz. فأطرق كإطراق الأفعوان. He lowered his head like the lowering of a serpent, a snake, and then he prepared for the second fight and said, hear my story because it is surprising. You may laugh at it, but also there is wailing in it. I am a man in whose specialities and qualities there is no blemish, nor is there any suspicion in his glory. Saruj is my hometown where I was born, and my roots are Ghassan when I trace my lineage. And my mashghala is education and learning, studying, and to dive deep into ilm is my maqsood and matloob, and it is an excellent pursuit and maqsood. My capital is the magic of speech from which both verses and speeches are molded. I dive deep into the ocean of eloquence. Then I choose pearls from it and I select them. And um, I pick the ripe and new and fruit which is ready to be picked from the words and speeches, whereas others select the wood which is used for fire. I take a word or a sentence or a statement like a silver, but when I mold it into a sentence or poetry, it people say that it is gold. बस आगे बाद में पढ़ना, अच्छी तरह याद करके आना। बाद में है लेकिन लंबा है, आज पूरा नहीं होगा, कल अशार पूरे कर लेंगे अल्लाह ने चाहा तो। जाओ, अस्सलाम वालेकुम।